Today, I'll be reading Reddit stories, funny Reddit stories, okay? Yeah, you need a laugh, I can tell. You've been mean mugging like you one of Vin Diesel's family members. Yeah. Let's get into the first one by Beneficial Produce 56. I once had a boss named Dick. The number of times I said things like, I loved. I'm not saying that. But you get what I was about to say. Or, I'm looking for, insert her boss's name. Okay. Not bad. I'm going to try to keep going until I laugh. And then the first story that makes me crack, which, pause. Super pause. First story that makes me laugh, I'll wrap it up. If this story, okay. What? That's it? Okay. Nah, we got some more. By Deleted. One day in college, the teacher had stapled answer sheets to the back of every test by mistake. Hey, shout out to that teacher. A few mistakes after passing. Damn, I wish I would have went to that college. I would have got me a degree and everything I could out of that teacher. That doesn't even make sense within saying that. You could tell how educated I am. Yeah, I've never been to college. Everyone had okay, whoa. I skipped some details. Yeah, the Flash is starting to do that thing with the eyes where you see like you see duplicated small versions of the Flash, and it looks like I'm 5% blind from my point of view. Okay. A few minutes after passing the test around, his phone rang and he stepped out. Everyone had noticed the answer sheet, and we decided that we would all use it and tear it off after. Hopefully, he would never notice. So I checked each of the answers, and they were all correct, except for the last one. We were to draw a flow chart for a process. I checked the answer sheet. Answers will vary. I drew my flow chart, tore off the answer sheet, and walked away to the front podium to turn the test in. When I got to the podium, I had to know I needed to see what everyone else had drawn for their flow chart. Answers will vary. Everyone had written that on their test. I drew my flow chart. Okay. I don't remember what the teacher did about it. Okay. This story is by Man with a Plan. I am an American in China, and I arranged a meeting with a guy from Germany. I go to his hotel. He says, I'm coming down in the elevator. The elevator opens, and the only Western face I see is a guy looking for me, or so I thought. He introduces himself with a thick accent. We talked for half an hour before we both figured out that we were supposed to be meeting other business persons. And yep, there they were in the elevator area waiting for us. Another American and a German. Go figure. This story is by Chadwell 89. After having sex with the fourth girl of my young life at the time, I decided to get an STD check. Not for any physical reasons, mostly for emotional reassurance. Anyways, I called my neighbor across the street, who is 3 years older than me, basically my big brother, and I told him that I had made an appointment to get checked, and I asked him what it entailed. He said they were gonna stick all 5 of their fingers up his, ooh. No, he said it wasn't too loud, or too, it wasn't too bad. They did a sperm sample, swabbed his, ooh, checked his blood, etc., etc. So I felt pretty prepared going in there a few days later. On my way to the clinic, I was feeling pretty nervous to ejaculate in a cup, but I reassured myself that it was going to be fine. When I finally got there, an older lady called my name and handed me a clear cup and escorted me to the restroom and said, "Please go in here." I was picturing more of a comfortable room where I could do my private thing of choking my chicken, but I thought, fuck it. The bathroom would suffice. I remember looking around for some pornographic material because my neighbor said that they provide you with some. Instead, this man must have thought about his big brother across the street. He's like, "Bro, you look so good in those khakis." Because my neighbor said that they provide you with some, but there was nothing. I remember thinking, what the fuck? This place just expects us to use our imagination. Disappointed. I said, oh well, not like I haven't used just my imagination before. So I began, yes, masturbating over the sink. How could you masturbate over the sink, man? Somebody might accidentally touch your jizz. Anyways, I remember amazingly rubbing one out. Whoa. Amazingly? That's the word you want to go with before rubbing one out? Shit. Yeah, now I'm thinking you were using your imagination to go think about your big brother across the street. That ain't your neighbor. That's your lover. You chicken choker. Amazingly rubbing one out pretty fucking fast. Yeah, I can tell you're white. Just by how you worded this. Almost too fast. So I thought that I'd wait in there an additional, I'm gonna give him a white guy voice, an additional 10 minutes because I didn't want her to think I was some type of freak. Because I'm in the country club, okay? I'm not no freak. I am a normal rich man in a country club beating off to my neighbor, brother. After waiting in there for what felt like an eternity, I finally handed my semen, very white, semen. We went from sperm, now semen. Come on, man. All right. My semen filled the cup back to the old lady nurse, who acted impatient and upset. Bruh, you just said she's old. Are you surprised? I feel like half of my face is cut out of the damn frame. If it is, I'm not editing this video or doing it over. We're gonna keep it where it's at. If you only see my eyebrows throughout this video, boo-hoo. Impatient and upset that I took so long, I began following her down the hallway.
The woman set the cup on this desk table thingy, looked at it, then picked it up again, and gulped that bitch because she was dehydrated. Now she picked it up again, and she jiggled the cup a little bit.
That's not even that funny. I don't know why I'm... Okay. Maybe just picturing the situation. Anyways.
She stopped. I held my breath as I looked at her face, as I saw it turn from confusion to sheer horror. She turns to me and goes, sir, we only needed your urine.
Ooh. I was just warming my hand up. That wasn't a laugh, right? Let's go. Damn, my nose dripping and Jesus.
We only needed your urine, young man. I will never forget the feeling that I had that very moment. My face got red. I felt like I was getting kicked out of the country club. My brother, lover, neighbor would probably stop talking to me. I felt immediately hot. My legs felt weak. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there, man.
Okay. All right, this is the last story.
There have been so many embarrassing moments in my life, but luckily, I can think pretty quickly on my feet, like I'm James Bond. And I can dig my way out of the most uncomfortable situations.
Besides that one.
As for this moment, there was no fucking shovel.
Yeah, this guy is using fucking so much. Yeah. Anyways.
There was no fucking shovel in sight for me to dig myself out of. Nothing to say, nothing to do. No dollar I could even...
Anyway,
I just stood there terrified. I just jizzed in a fucking urine sample cup, and now this poor elderly woman, who was probably months away from retirement, was now horrified and confused as she was gripping a hot cup of my potential babies. I'm guessing the clinic never trained her for situations like this. Even if she had made a joke to lighten the mood, it would have been better. It would have killed the tension in the room. Instead, she remained stoic. I felt awkward and scared and potentially like I was gonna end up homeless.
Yeah, homeless is a word.
I felt like a monster. After going back to pee and a few tests later, I got the F out of there. After much reflection, though I now think that she deserved it.
What the fuck?
Because honestly, yes, I did assume that she wanted a sperm sample, but the woman never specified. Was she
One red?
Wanted. Therefore, she assumed I knew too. And we both people are assuming chances are that one of them is going to get a cup full of one's jizz. It's just the way it is.
Okay, calm down, Eminem.
God, I still cringe just thinking about that day. Sometimes when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I randomly think of that old woman's face as she realized that she's holding a cup filled with my hot semen.
You didn't have to say it was hot, bro.
Soldiers and I just... Hold on. My hot semen, soldiers, and I just bust out laughing and shaking my head. Good times.
What a fucking story. Boy. You should have, you know what? Before I end this shit, I wanted it like a continuation on how it was like him if he had told his lover, brother, neighbor. How'd that go? There's a part 2 to that story he missing. But yeah, I fumbled, I failed, I couldn't help myself. That shit was ridiculous. But yeah, I think I lost vision in one of my eyes. The next time I will try to find my shades because I'm seeing stars. Goddamn. Somebody buy me some glasses. The one with Jamie Foxx on the picture. Please.